Hey everyone, and welcome to Canada for Dummies. If you're new here, this channel is all about making life in Canada simple and easy to understand. Whether you're moving here, living here, or just curious, I break down everything from money, housing, culture, and more, all in a friendly and no stress way. Today we're going to talk about a big question. How much does it really cost to live in Canada? I'll keep it simple and straightforward so you can get a clear idea of what to expect and how to budget. Let's start with the biggest expense, housing. Renting a place to live usually is like your largest monthly expense. In big cities like Toronto or Vancouver, a one-bedroom apartment can cost around $2,000 to $2,500 per month. In smaller cities like Montreal, Calgary, or Halifax, rent is usually a bit cheaper, more like $1,200 to $1,800 per month. So depending on where you live, rent can be about 35 to 50% of your total monthly expense. Housing then can be looked at a range of $1,200 to $2,500 or more per month. Our second point here that we wanted to look at is groceries and food. Of course, that's a necessity. So for one person, groceries usually cost between $300 to maybe $500 per month. But in bigger cities, it can go up to $400 to $600 depending on the areas you live in, whether you're near the major supermarkets or you're just in the maybe the downtown sections of some cities can be a lot more expensive. If you have a family, groceries can easily reach $800 to $1,000 or more every month. A quick tip, shopping smart by buying in bulk, looking for sales, or using loyalty cards can help you save some money. That brings us to our third point, which is transportation. Transportation costs depend on how you get around. If you use public transport, monthly passes cost maybe in major cities like Toronto around $160. Vancouver could be around $130, and Montreal is probably around $100 per month. If you drive, you'll pay for gas, insurance, and parking too. Gas prices usually range from $1.30 to about $1.90 per liter, and car insurance is pretty expensive in Canada. It can cost between $1,200 to about $2,000 or more per year. And transit so then is about $90 to $160 or more, and car insurance, gas, and parking is at its separate costs depending on what type of car you drive, how often, but insurance in Canada can be pretty expensive there. Our fourth step, which is utilities and internet. Everything relies on the internet nowadays, and especially your utilities at home. So that means your heat, your electricity, your water, internet, and phone bills, of course. Expect to pay about $150 to $250 per month for utilities, and around $80 to $120 for internet and phone. Sometimes landlords cover some of these costs, so check when you rent. So that brings me to my fifth point, which I wanted to talk about briefly, which is health and insurance. In Canada, basic healthcare is mostly free through public insurance, but many people buy extra private insurance for things like dental, prescriptions, or eye care. That can cost about $100 per month for individuals, up to $300 per month for families. Of course, if you are employed, just make sure what type of insurance plans that you have with your employers, and kind of go from there. Anything extras for families is kind of the sixth point I wanted to touch on. If you have kids, you want to budget for daycare too. It can cost between $1,000 to $1,500 per month per child. So there are costs for school supplies, clothes, and activities, so plan well for those as well. Our seventh point that we wanted to touch on was, putting it all together and seeing what that kind of looks like. For a single person living in a big city like Toronto or Vancouver, rent is probably on average to be $2,000 to $2,200. Groceries, you're looking at about $400 to $450 per month. Transit, we'll put those all together for transit, utilities, and internet for about $350 a month, and insurance costs for about $100 a month. That brings our total to about $3,100 per month on average for a single person living in Toronto or Vancouver. For a single person living in a smaller city like Montreal or Calgary, you're looking at rent of about $1,500 on average, to groceries for being about $400 per month, bills at $300 a month, insurance again, same costs of about $100, but it's a pretty significant lesser total amount of $2,300 per month. So you could really see here the difference between living in a city like Vancouver or Toronto or living in cities like Montreal or Calgary. For a family of four, anywhere in Canada, I kind of looked at the whole picture of Canada here and took an average. You're looking at rent of between $3,000 to $4,000 per month, groceries between $800 to $1,000 per month, bills and transit of about $600. Of course, there's a discrepancy of whether you're using a car or public transport, but again, there is also daycare, which could be between $1,000 to $1,200 per month on average, which brings you to a whopping $5,900 to $7,000 per month on average for a family of four people. That's something you'll have to definitely budget for, and some of these costs can definitely be covered through employment insurance and other programs. So that's a simple overview of living costs in Canada, from about $2,300 a month for a single person up to $7,000 or more for a family. If you want me to make a specific video about a city you have in mind or anything Canadian related, please put that in the comments below. Hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more new tips about Canada for Dummies. And I'll see you guys next time.